Hi friends, do you have a second for a quick reflection with me? About 10 minutes or so. This again is on the theme this month of what deep friendships could feel and look like in our own context. I think for many of us, we haven't had that experience of experiencing safety in connection, the kind where you feel like it's okay to be who you truly are without any repercussions in an unhelpful ways. And so these reflections are designed to help whet your appetite for what could be. And today we're imagining what such an experience could look like to have close and trustworthy, intimate friendships, and what kind of feelings could arise as a result. So let me start off with a few preliminary warm-up questions, but before we do, just a couple of reminders here. There may be some emotions that arise because of these questions that we consider together. My encouragement, my invitation to you is, in the midst of these emotions coming up, take your time, go slowly, feel the feels. They may be uncomfortable, but make space for them, because these expressions are good and healthy. These are the kind of things that help us process what's going on the inside, and to repress them and to shut them down, it doesn't do our soul good, I don't think. So give space for these reflections to bring up the feelings that result, and as you consider those things that come up, make space for it and give yourself grace in the midst of it. There aren't any wrong answers. It's okay to feel the feels. So let's start off with some preliminary questions. What does the phrase close, trustworthy friend bring up for you? When you think of close, trustworthy friend or friendships, what sort of things does that bring up for you? When you picture this experience of having close and trustworthy friendships, what details come for you in your mind? And what would it feel like, or how would you like to feel in the midst of such a connection that is trustworthy, that feels safe, that feels intimate? What would you like to feel in the presence of such company? The main reflection I'd like to direct your attention to at this time is the question, when you imagine having close, trustworthy, and intimate friendships, what comes up for you by way of feeling? What sort of things arise for you internally when you think of this zone of close friendships? Like, for example, what are some of the first initial feelings or responses that come up when you imagine this kind of a friendship? Are those feelings that arise, are they uncomfortable feelings or are they comfortable feelings? And I'd love for you to explore why it feels that way. Why does it feel comfortable or uncomfortable? And even as you recognize these feelings that come up for you, my question for you would be, are these feelings, is there any contradictory nature to them? Like, for example, is there amidst feelings of excitement, do you also simultaneously experience fear? Or amidst joy that you might be experiencing, do you also feel some grief? Dear listener, have you ever had a friendship like this, where it felt so good, like it felt just safe, it felt accessible, it felt worthwhile, it filled your soul? Like, have you ever had this kind of a friendship? And if you haven't, what would it feel like, do you imagine, like to be in such a friendship, to be in such a connection? If you have had it, what's happened to that connection? Is it still there, or has it come to an end prematurely? when you think or imagine or remember such a connection, what sort of memories or associations arise internally for you? Especially when you think about the kind of trust it takes to have with someone like that. Like, what kind of associations arise? Do you believe that such connections are still possible and available in today, like in today's age? Or is it just something that happened in the past that isn't replicatable? That's the word, I think, right? What have you been taught about what you deserve in these kind of friendships? Like, what kind of stories have you believed? What kind of models have you observed that have informed the way you think about such connections? And are there fears or storylines that make it feel unsafe to move into this space? Are there experiences that you've had where you say, I've been there before and it's not a safe place to be? That inspire fear, perhaps? If none of these questions have resonated or landed, maybe like you're just not sure what this experience would even feel like. Let me see if I can rephrase some of these questions. When you think about having a close friend, what do you wish it could feel like? If you put yourself in that setting, what would it feel like if you were in the midst of such friendships? What would you wish that would be addressed and impacting on the inside? When you think about this whole topic of what deep friendships could not only look like but feel like, what kind of reactions do you observe yourself having, and what do these reactions tell you about your relationship, especially to connecting on a deep level with someone? And what would it look like to gently move toward the kind of friendship you're hoping to experience or imagining could be? What kind of movements could you make incrementally towards such an experience? This is just a bit of extra if you are so inclined, but if you were to conceptualize what a wonderful, beautiful connection and friendship could look like, but you're not experiencing it quite yet the way you'd like to experience, consider what it would be like to write it, maybe a letter to your future friend, expressing how you hope they will, show up, how you hope they will engage, and what you hope to experience in the middle of that connection. What would you love for them to know about you? Or what would you hope that they would see in you that would help you feel truly like seen and safe? Consider that. And just as a parting comment on this theme here, our longing for connection, I say ours because it's yours and mine. I think as fellow human beings, we do long for that beautiful connection. This desire to connect deeply is not an embarrassing thing at all. I would say it's sacred, it's holy, it's human, and I believe it's still possible. To that end, I'm facilitating some seminars this month on Thursdays on eventbrite.com. The title of these is We Were Never Taught This, Adult Friendship 101. I hope to see you there. Thanks for joining me on this really short reflection time. I will see you tomorrow for tomorrow's.